There's a free button already sitting under your thumb on the shifter that does the same job as a chunk of a $300 to $600 brake job and stops this transmission from doing the exact hunting behavior that's part of what runs up the $4,500 to $7,500 rebuild. This channel has already priced out. And it isn't tow/haul, and it isn't manual mode, and almost nobody talks about it because it doesn't have a name most owners would recognize. I've watched a lot of settings videos on this transmission, made a few of them myself, and this specific button rarely comes up in any of them, mine included, because it's filed under a feature most people assume is only for descending a mountain with a trailer. It isn't. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what this button does, why it works completely differently than tow/haul or full manual mode, and the specific everyday situations where using it costs you nothing and saves real wear. This isn't a hidden menu, and it isn't a foreskin trick. It's a physical button you've probably already pressed by accident at some point without knowing what it actually did. The button that isn't either of the two things you think it is. Here's where it gets interesting. Most owners think there are exactly two ways to take control of this transmission's shifting: tow/haul, which changes the whole shift schedule automatically, and full manual mode, shifting the lever over to M and taking over every single shift yourself with the plus and minus buttons. There's a third option sitting in between those two that almost never gets mentioned, because it doesn't require leaving drive and it doesn't require taking over every shift. With the shifter still in D, pressing the minus button once locks out 10th gear. Press it again, 9th gear locks out too. Keep going and you're capping how high this transmission is allowed to shift, one gear at a time, while everything below that ceiling still shifts completely automatically. You're not driving stick, you're just telling the computer, don't go any higher than this, and it handles the rest exactly like it always does. Result? A transmission that stops climbing into 9th and 10th and hunting back down every time the road grades or the load changes, without you having to think about a single shift yourself. Free versus the transmission doing exactly what it was already going to do anyway. Reach for the tallest gear it can find, then immediately give it back. That is the choice. Why this fixes something tow/haul doesn't actually fix. And it gets worse for tow/haul than most owners realize. Tow/haul is genuinely useful, and this channel has already told you to use it. But it's still an automatic mode. It changes the shift schedule and adds engine braking, and the computer is still the one deciding moment to moment which gear counts as the right one for the grade you're on right now. On a rolling grade, up then down, then up again, that still means the transmission is making that decision over and over, sometimes multiple times a minute, climbing toward a taller gear and immediately backing off it. That hunting behavior is exactly what independent forum reports describe locking out the top gears to solve. Not as a guess, but tied directly to the same mechanism this channel's own teardown video already found. Repeated shift cycling runs those DNF clutch packs through more fill and release events than a steady held gear ever would. Lock out the top 2 or 3 gears on a grade, and the transmission simply can't reach for them anymore, whether it's in tow/haul or normal. The hunting stops because the option to hunt that high is gone. Result? Fewer shift events on the exact clutch packs already carrying the most duty cycle in this transmission, on a stretch of road where the computer would otherwise be indecisive for the entire climb or descent. That is, the trade tow/haul alone doesn't make for you, because tow/haul was never built to answer the question, should the top 2 gears even be available right now? Now here's the part of this video that actually matters more than what the button does. Knowing this feature exists is only half of it. The other half is knowing exactly when to reach for it, because using it in the wrong situation just makes the truck feel sluggish for no reason. Hit subscribe now, because the next part is the specific list of when this actually helps, not a blanket. Use it always. When this actually helps, and when it doesn't. This is where most people get it completely wrong. They either never touch this button at all, or once they find it, they lock out 3 or 4 gears permanently and wonder why the truck feels strained on the highway. Neither is right. This button earns its keep in 3 specific situations: towing or hauling on a grade with real elevation change, stop-and-go traffic on a hill where the transmission would otherwise be climbing to a tall gear and immediately dropping back out of it, and a long, steady descent where you want engine braking without fully committing to manual mode. Outside of those situations, flat highway cruising, light driving around town, locking out gears does nothing for you and just wastes the transmission's tallest, most fuel-efficient options for no reason. This isn't a set-it-and-forget-it fix. It's a tool you reach for when the road or the load actually calls for it and unpress when it doesn't. Result? Used in the right 3 situations, real relief for the exact clutch packs already working hardest at zero cost. Used everywhere, no benefit, and a truck that feels like it's working harder than it needs to. Knowing which situation you're actually in is the entire skill here, which is exactly the kind of judgment call worth having in writing before you're halfway up a grade with a trailer behind you, not figuring it out in the moment. The free 12-point inspection checklist in the description covers this alongside the other habit-level checks worth running before a long tow, and the 5-year survival manual linked there walks through the full situational playbook. This button included mile marker by mile marker, how to actually use it without overthinking it. Stay with me, because the mechanics of this are simpler than they sound once you've done it twice. Coming up on a grade while towing, press the minus button 2 or 3 times before you start climbing, locking out 8th through 10th, and let everything below that shift automatically the way it always has. Cresting the grade and heading back to flat road, press the plus button the same number of times to give those gears back. That's the entire process. No menus, no tools, no settings to remember between drives, because it resets back to full range the next time you start the truck anyway. Result? 2 or 3 button presses before a grade, 2 or 3 after, versus a transmission left to make that same climb and back off decision on its own, over and over for as long as the grade lasts. That is the trade, and it's the cheapest one in this entire video. Why this one actually does slip through the cracks. But don't stop there, because it's worth understanding why this specific feature stays this obscure, and it isn't a conspiracy. It doesn't have a marketing name. It's not on the drive mode dial, it's not in the maintenance schedule. It's a function of a single button that most owners either never press or press once, assume it's just manual mode's little brother, and never touch again. Settings videos, including the ones already on this channel, tend to cover named modes and dashboard menus, because those are the things with a label pointing at them. A button with no label describing exactly what it does when you're still in D doesn't fit that format, so it gets skipped, video after video, channel after channel. Result: a genuinely useful, zero-cost feature that's been sitting on every one of these shifters the entire time, mentioned almost nowhere, simply because nobody had a slide to put it on. None of this required a tool, a menu, or a trip to a shop. It required a button most owners have already pressed by accident at least once, without knowing what it actually did or when to use it on purpose. Comment whether you knew about this before this video, and if you didn't, try it on the next grade you climb or tow up and tell me if you feel the difference. I want to know how many of you have been sitting on this the entire time without knowing it. Which specific grade percentages and load weights actually call for locking out 2 gears versus 3? That's the next video. Try it once yourself before then and see what it feels like.